Yo, people. All right, so today I want to talk about goal setting. I did a video before on the importance of having a purpose, and that would have just outlined, some of the important reasons um, to have a overarching reason for why you think you exist. Um, so now I'm going to go about explaining to you the process of actually attaining the goal. So it's one thing to talk about having goals, but you have to have a plan in place to reach them. So I'm just gonna break it down as simply as I can for you. That seems to be my word, simply for some reason. But anyways, I'm gonna try and break it down for you now. All right, so I have my template up on the board that I'm gonna use to discuss this point on goal setting, and I'll make it as simple as possible so it's easy for you to transfer it into your goals directly, right? So the first acronym you want to know is SMART goals, right? SMART, the S in SMART meaning specific. So unless you know specifically what it is you want to accomplish, then your efforts will be not wasted, but they might not be the most efficient and effective. So for instance, let's say one of my goals this year was to lose 30 pounds. Um, if I didn't know how much weight I wanted to lose, there would be no measuring stick for me to gauge my progress. So if I just said I wanted to lose weight, but I had no idea in my mind how much weight I wanted to lose, then I don't know how to set up my programming. I don't know how well to eat or how much calories to cut. That's an easy example. So you need a specific goal. If your goal is to make a certain amount of money, you need to know exactly how much money you want to make, that you'll be able to break down the activities that you would need to do in order to bring in the kind of money that you want to bring in. Right, so one of the best things to do is get as specific as possible about your goal. Don't overload it with too many details at the same time, or you could go into pretty much paralysis from analysis, which means you analyzing too many details, and it keeps you frozen in studying the details rather than taking action. So just make a specific goal, and then you can move on to something that is measurable. So now that you have a long range specific goal, you would obviously know the ways in which you can measure your progress. So for instance, if I say I want to lose 30 pounds, then I know as each month goes by, I could be losing 2, 4, 6 pounds, and I know on the grand scheme of things where I am at in terms of reaching my goal. Am I far away from my goal, as in I've only lost 3 to 4 pounds, or am I close to my goal, as in I've already lost 20, 21, 22 pounds, right? So it helps you to measure your progress when you're more specific, right? So all of these principles tie into one another. The next part after that is make sure it's something that's attainable. If you put too grand of a goal in too short of a space of time, you're going to become overwhelmed, and you are more likely to feel demotivated and not be able to go after your goal. And on the flip side of that, if the goal is too far away, then you'll be too lazy and too lackluster in your efforts in order to reach it, and that might also prevent you from attaining your goal. Making it also realistic. So for instance, let's go back to the same 30 pounds. My goal is to lose 30 pounds in 6 months, which equates to about 5 pounds a month. And I know that it is attainable because based on the recommendations by most health journals or health and fitness professionals, 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss a week is the recommended rate. So that means I have wiggle room to lose a minimum 4 pounds or a maximum 8 pounds per month. So 5 pounds is actually pretty modest. And that's something that I know I can attain. If I fall back on 1 month, then I'm still able to recover in the next month, right? Um, so let's say now if I wanted to lose those same 30 pounds in 2 months, that is pretty much 15 pounds a month, which is ridiculous. And I might become so overwhelmed by that goal and the short time in which I have to accomplish it that I already know from the jump it is not attainable, it's not possible, and therefore I'm less likely to actually put in the effort to actually reach that goal. Plus, it's not healthy. So the last part now will be making it time bound, and the reason that you should make a goal time bound is that it puts pressure on you to get shit done. If your goal does not have a time frame, you will lag when you don't feel the motivation to do it, and that can take, let's say, a goal that would have taken you 3 months to accomplish, 6 and 9 months to accomplish because you had no end date. When you put a time limit in order to reach a goal, it gives you positive stress in order to do the work required to reach that goal within that time limit. That's like most people when they're in school or at university and they have a project to do. I used to do this for sure. Let's say you have a project to do that you have the whole semester to do, and you wait for the final week to get it done. And what happens? Most of the time, you get your project finished right before the due date. So you had a whole 12 weeks to do a project, but you get it done in the last week because your time is running out. So if you didn't have, more than likely, if you did not have a due date on which your project was due, I'm pretty sure you would never get around to doing it. So that's the importance of time. It provides a positive stress called eustress if you want to look it up. There's actually two types of stress. The stress that most people talk about, which is negative, but then there's also a positive stress called eustress, which drives you to perform actions that can help you accomplish your goals. Then when we're talking about goals now, the next thing we need to talk about is the length of the goal. So there are long-term goals and short-term goals, and they should all be leading you towards what I spoke about earlier, your purpose. So if you know what your overall reason for engaging in, or for doing your job is, then it will help you to easier map out your goals along the way. And I'm gonna break down to you as far as I do it, which you don't have to do. It's a little meticulous, but I am at the point now where I have to do it like that. So long-term goal can be anywhere from 5 to 10 years. When people ask you that question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's to differentiate or determine if you have any long-term goals or plans for yourself, right? So let's say my long-term goal was to start a personal training business where I have, let's say, 10 clients, 10 regular clients. That's my long-term goal. Building your clientele in any business is something that takes time. So that comes from word of mouth and getting people results. So my long-term goal would have been to get 10 clients and start my own personal training business after working for gyms. And the reason to have a long-term goal is that it helps control or influence is the word I'm looking for. It helps to influence the decisions you make on a day-to-day basis. So let's say if you wanted to buy a car next year, you're going to know that this year you may have to forego going to parties, fetes. You may not be able to travel because you have to put that money aside to buy your vehicle next year. So it helps to control the decisions you make or influence the decisions you make so that you're more likely to be able to reach your long-term goal. And then short-term goals now help provide basically motivation and like support towards reaching your long-term goals. So for instance, my goal is to lose 30 pounds in 6 months. I know my short-term goal would be to get in my 4 to 5 workouts a week, get in my cardio, and then eat my 6 meals on time throughout the day. Yeah, you might fall off here and there, but if you are able to accomplish at least 80% of your daily objectives, you are that much closer to reaching your goal in the long term. And then you can be able to track your progress over like more medium term. So for instance, if I do my 5 workouts a week, I eat my 6 meals a day on time, and I do that for the period of 4 weeks, a month, I can see that at the end of the month I have lost 4 or 5 pounds, which has carried me just that much closer to reaching my long-term goal of losing 30 pounds in 6 months. You can apply this to a job, you can apply this to your business, you can even apply this to things like your personal life. If you have a goal to travel more often, how are you going to get the money to travel more often? What will you have to put aside in order to travel more often? Where do you want to travel to? How much money will you have to make or put aside to go to certain destinations? So having a clearly defined set of goals um, helps to make you make the most efficient use of your time and get the most effective um, the most effectiveness out of your actions. I hope that that was understandable, and yeah, let me know how it goes with any application of your own goal setting journey, and give me some feedback in the comments below. I'd love to hear what some of your goals are and how you intend to reach them. Thanks for listening.